Today's a good day to grab your kids and hang out with them for an hour. Dance, walk, play a sport, or cook a healthy meal. Because just moving a little and eating better every day can help make you and your child healthier.
Can we do it?
Yeah, you know that we can.
We'll ball it up.
Cause we know how to hoop.
We'll mess around.
Cause we know how to play.
We'll drop it down.
Cause we know how to dance.
We'll veg it up.
Veggie night and day.
Can we do it?
Search We Can online to find doable tips and activities that you can use every day to keep you and your kids healthy. Remember, that's We Can. A message from the Ad Council, HHS, and NIH's We Can program.
Anne Marie specializes in premier 5-star vendor and craft shows. She also offers event planning for special events of any kind. Anne Marie's goal is to provide both her vendors and shoppers with an exceptional experience, believing that promotion is the key to any successful event. Anne Marie has developed personal relationships with her vendors and is constantly being sought by vendors who would like to participate in her popular events, often with wait lists for vendors. Working with Anne Marie is an enjoyable, stress-free experience. Anne Marie is a perfectionist and very creative. She is 100% committed to each event from beginning to end and believes that promotion is the key to any successful event. No stone will go unturned as it relates to promotion. For the ultimate in event planning, contact Anne Marie today at 219-741-0435 or visit anne-marieprince.com. Premier events in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana are brought to you by Anne Marie.
Now what's that? I say, now what's that boy up to? Better check on it, yeah.
You're listening to Snowman in the Morning.
Ask a silly question and get a silly answer.
We roll on, y'all. Second half of Snowman in the Morning is presented by Sowers Ford of Michigan City. This Wednesday, the ASN College Football Red Zone, driven by Sowers Ford, is back after a hiatus. We had to get some things together. We did. Nick Dowd, Brett Hill, and myself will break down the happenings in college football. That's 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, the ASN College Football Red Zone, presented by Sowers Ford. All right. I'll do the feel-good story before I do my trivia later on in this hour. Second half of Snowman in the Morning, this half presented by U.S. Tire and Auto of Gary, Indiana. I want to talk about a subject that I talked to quite a few people with. Anyone who's familiar with radio here in Chicago knows that last February, a station launched called The Game, 87.7 FM, trying to attract a new audience. Well, guess what? That station is going bye-bye because they are shutting down operations at the end of the year. And what's sad is the way some of the folks found out. They found out while they were doing a show on the air. That sucks. You know, and it led to Alex Quigley Alex Quigley said, are these people human? Who are we dealing with here? I led with that to lead with this. There is a lot of sportscasting movement going on, especially in television and in radio. And I am one of a few people, and the number is growing, that has become disillusioned with it. Let me explain. I don't like watching that mess as much as I once did. And what started it for me was when Fox snatched the NFC package in 1994, which led to the creation of the Fox box, which led to the creation of graphics being all over the doggone screen, which I can't stand. See, how did CBS lose the package to Fox when Fox doesn't even know how to report the real doggone news in the first place? I mean, Rupert Murdoch, I don't know what he paid to get Fox into the game of football, but you should have kept your investment. I'm sorry. The NFC package belonged on CBS, and it still belongs on CBS as far as I'm concerned. And have you noticed the last couple of weeks there has been an NFC game on CBS which has the AFC package? Trying to flex some games to get some more viewership. Y'all should have kept everything the way that it is. I don't know why CBS didn't compete for the NFC package. Unless they had some other things in mind. Unless they didn't have enough money to compete with what Fox was throwing on the table, which Was it $2 billion? I don't know the number. I don't know the number. I just know that Fox getting the NFC package started messing things up for me in terms of watching sports. What also messed things up for me some 12 years, well, shoot. Fox already, look at what Fox had in the early 90s, or the mid 90s. They had the NFL, they had the NHL, and we're talking Fox the national package. They had the NFL, they had the NHL, that was 1995, and of course they snatched Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball for me was NBC and ABC. ABC had Monday Night Baseball. NBC had the Saturday game. But then Fox came in and said, we'll take the whole package over, which eventually led to the creation of Major League Baseball of MLB Network. These network specialties are starting to piss me off. And I mean it in terms of a monopoly that's going on. And NBA TV started that mess. NBA TV started that. Hey, listen, you know what NBA TV used to do? They used to broadcast and replay old basketball games in their entirety with no graphic at the bottom of the screen to interrupt it. They don't even do that anymore. I understand you want to have original programming, but at the same time, what was your premise when you started broadcasting? The same thing is now true with MLB Network and NFL Network. The NHL has not gone down that road. They do air classic games, but what the NHL does, they do it in their entirety. Here's what really started it, or what kicked it into high gear. Do y'all remember ESPN Classic when it was just classic sports television? When they used to air the World's Strongest Man and boxing matches and old games the way that they were supposed to be aired and not with facts coming across the screen about the game? What happened to that? That's what drew the fans in, and now they blitzkrieg them with original programming. Game Show Network and Cartoon Network are guilty of the same thing. Those are a couple of reasons I become disillusioned with sportscasting. It started when Fox snatched the NFC package. NBA TV showed up, started airing old games, which I loved. Okay, and after each game, they would do their scoreboard. Then they go to another classic game. Bring back the classic games, please. And I have a twofold reason why I'm saying bring back the classic games. Number one, because old school heads like me love watching it. Number two, it would teach these kids a lesson about basketball. It would teach these kids about who preceded the current stars, if you want to call them stars. But two other events really happened that got me disillusioned from hoops, or from sportscasting. The two other things were these. Number one, when the the NBA on NBC was no more. And number two, when Monday Night Football moved to ESPN. That was the last straw for me. That was the last straw. Monday Night Football doesn't belong on ESPN. It belongs on ABC. But here's where monopoly control is at it again. Who owns both companies now? Disney does. When Disney bought ESPN and Disney snaked their hands in the ABC, I knew it would be trouble. ABC had their own identity. ABC had their own identity when it came to broadcasting sports. And now it's entrenched with ESPN, entrenched with Disney. It bites. All right? It flat out bites. The one thing that really gets on my nerve is how often networks switch their games and switch their announcers and switch their coverage. You don't know who to depend on, and this is with radio too. You don't know who's going to carry what anymore. It really came into focus this year when the Cubs decided they're going to leave WGN radio for WBBM radio. How's that for a sock in the face? Granted, I don't like the Cubs, but it's just highlighting a point. It's weird for me, as long as I've watched football, it's weird for me to see the AFC on CBS. It's weird. Now, I know things and times have changed. I know that people are going to be preaching to me about that. You need to go with the flow. You know what? People, you may be telling me to go with the flow in terms of sportscasting, but I still don't like it. Have you noticed the paradigm shift? And Ron, I want you to listen carefully to this, and I know you've noticed. You're one of the ones that brought it to my attention. Have you noticed the paradigm shift to cable with all the sports coverage and all the new networks that are popping up? Fox Sports 1, the Pac-12 network, the SEC network. Don't get me started. Big 12 network as well. It's the shift to cable, and more to the point, it's the shift to digital media. But it does not feel right for Monday Night Football to be on ESPN. There's something weird about it. Very weird. What are you guys' thoughts? Have you become disillusioned as well? Or do you think this is a good thing? I don't know if it can be a good thing. I don't know if it ever will be a good thing. I just know for me, and this is one man's opinion, for me, it stinks. It stinks that this paradigm shift continues to happen and hardly no one, wants to talk about it. It really stinks. Now, from a bad thing to a good thing, the feel-good story concerns the Phillips Wildcats of the Chicago Public League. And I'm going to search for this story right now. I just know the result that was given to me. But this is a banner week for the Chicago Public League. Why? The Phillips Wildcats. Yes, the Phillips Wildcats will be appearing